and welcome to Off Track by Rich Energy OMG Racing. I'm your host, Dave Neal, and this week I'm delighted to have another talented young rider to chat with. This fella's a multiple British Superbike race winner, a former Red Bull rookie, and in these strange times, the only man I've ever known to ride a virus. Completing the OMG lineup for 2021, Bradley Ray. Brad, welcome to the show, mate.
How are you, right?
I'm good. How's things?
Yeah, not too bad, ticking over.
I know strange times that we've got at the moment, and you are the only man I've ever known to ride a virus, so that's something you can take forward at the minute. We'll talk about that as we get into the show a little bit. But as we start off, just give us a brief overview of where you started, where you've been, and how you come to be joining Rich Energy OMG for 2021.
I just started as a young kid down in Lyd where I live. I'm just on the mini motos. I think I first started when I was 4, just riding around the garden. Went on a few sort of open track days as a kid because you weren't allowed to actually race until you were 6 years old. So just rode my bike until I turned 6, and then we joined the UK Fab Racing Championship on the mini bikes. And went through the stages there, started on the mini motos and then moved up to the Metrokit 50s and then went up to the Metrokit 70 in the UK. And then for the year after, I actually went out to Spain with Kyle to do the Metrokit 80 Championship to try and find maybe a different route. Instead of staying in the UK, we tried to go out and maybe find our way into Spanish Championship and follow on into 125s at the time. But we'd done that 1 year and sort of run out of money a little bit and decided to come back to the UK and basically join the British Championship on 125s. That was back in 2011. But between the year from the Metrokit 80 to joining BSC, I had to do a year on a Metrokit 125 just to get my points on my APU license to allow me to join BSC. So I've done that and then joined BSC in 2011 on the 125s. And then the year after, I managed to get through to the Red Bull Rookies Cup and was with them from 2012 to 2014. So I've done 3 seasons with them. And again, it was just another way to try and get myself into the GP paddock maybe and into the Spanish Championship. But just at the time, it didn't happen for whatever reason that was. But yeah, ended up coming back to the UK and maybe trying to do a different route into maybe World Superbikes or into GP, a different route like the Loses and also cracked over trying to go into Super Sport and World Super Sport and maybe do that route. So I come back and done top 600 for a year in 2015 and then joined the Super Sport Championship in 2016. But in 2015 as well, actually, as you said about the virus, I went to the Spanish Championship on a bike that was called the Virus, which was a hub centre steered Moto 2 bike. At the time, it was sort of a case of there was no ride available for in the UK. We didn't have any money to buy a ride, so it was a case of we got a free ride on that bike, so we took it. Again, trying to make moves into CV Moto 2 Championship, but yeah, we done that for 3 or 4 rounds. Knew that it wasn't a good career path for me, so we sort of parted ways with them and come back to the UK and finish the season on the stock 6, and then decided to pursue the Super Sport in 2016 and make our own team to run the R6. And that went really well. We managed to get third in the championship. We didn't start the year off too great, but I think we had the most wins, the most poles out of everyone that year. I think we had 11 podiums and 6 wins. And sort of, that was the start of the opportunity that I got in Superbikes the year after with Bill-based Suzuki. So I was obviously with them guys for 3 years in British Championship, and they gave me the opportunity to do the Suzuka 8 Hour as well in 2018 and 2019, which was an incredible experience. And I got to test a MotoGP Suzuki as well around Sepang. So that was a a dream day.
Sorry, you've just taken your finger off from over the microphone. You've just come back into clarity a bit.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's no problem. Carry on, mate. Leave your hand where it is.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a test on the Suzuki GP bike, and that was absolutely incredible. But yeah, left Suzuki after 3 years in British Championship and moved to BMW for the 2020 season. And like you said, last year was a bit of an up and down year. It was a bit of a difficult year. It was almost like I don't know. It was just a strange year for everyone. We didn't get a lot of testing. There wasn't many rounds each race. We only had sort of half the season. So yeah, it was difficult, but the BMW had really good potential. I felt the bike was really strong. We didn't really get a chance to show what we was capable of doing on that bike. So I think joining the OMG team with the new BMW, and obviously joining them with what they've done over the last 2 or 3 years in British Championship, it was sort of a no-brainer move to join them guys and try and get some good results in 2021.
And having a young, fast teammate, similar sort of age, a guy you've raced against throughout your career as well, is enough to push you both on as well. 2 hungry young riders.
Yeah,
it'll give you the platform and that shot in the arm to take that next step, to be a consistent top 10, top 5 podium man as you build on the new BMW and bring that confidence back. Because it has been a superbike career for you. I'm sure you don't mind me saying it's been a baptism of fire, hasn't it? There's been peaks, but there's been more troughs than peaks. So for you to have that consistency that we know your talent can take you to, that must be really driving you on for 2021.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you say, with the first year you join Superbike, you don't expect anything from your results. You just expect to learn. The second year, you maybe try to start pushing for getting in the showdown and maybe podiums. But yeah, the second year for me was like a big peak. We got the double win at Donington, and then was fighting for wins and podiums throughout the year and made it into the showdown. And then obviously you go into your third year thinking, right, it's time to knuckle down now and really show what we can do. But the last 2 years, sort of 2019 was a difficult year with Suzuki. And then obviously joining BMW last year, the potential was there, but for numerous reasons, we had bad luck, we had bike issues, we had just little things that were going wrong that didn't allow us to get that consistency with the package. So yeah, it's going to be really good to join the RICH Energy OMG team and have some consistency. Joining them will be good for me. I think the environment looks nice to work in. I like the way they work. I like what they've done the last couple of years. And like you say, having Carl as my teammate, I think we'll both be pushing each other on throughout the year, and it'd be nice to sort of be with him in the team, because it's not till you look back and see what we both sort of done in our career. We've both sort of been up from 6 years old up till now. We've both pretty much been together and done the same championship, apart from 2 or 3 years we've pretty much been in the same championship. So I think it'll be a good year next year.
He's like a bad penny. He just keeps turning up.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
It was an interesting chat with him a couple of weeks ago as well, because both with having an interest in the junior classes that I do through my time with Jordan, and just enjoying watching the younger guys come through. Yourself, you maybe don't remember, but I remember meeting you and your dad in 2013 out in Misano.
Yeah.
And so what would you have been then? Sort of 16 years old?
What would I have been then? So that would have been 7 years ago. So
yeah,
16. Yeah,
so you'd be 16 then at the time, and you were racing against Bastianini and Mir and Toprak and Jorge Martin, people like that. But then you look at who won it in 2014, Karel Haneke, who's kind of dropped off the radar a little bit and gone into EWC. You are a race winner in Red Bull Rookies.
Yeah.
Austin, what a place to do it.
Oh, incredible, yeah.
Seriously, of all the tracks to do it on.
Yeah, I know. It's bonkers. But yeah, like you say, it's nice to look back and think, right, we was quick as them, if not quickest, because we fought with them every weekend, and we beat them as well. So it's nice to know that we've got the talent and the pace to to be on par with them guys, but it's also frustrating and seeing where they're at now. I mean, Mir's world champion in MotoGP, Bastianini's Moto2 world champion. I mean, they've all sort of won races in Moto3, Moto2 and GP. And yeah, sort of like a bit of a kick in the teeth a little bit, sort of thinking, right, if what could we have done different back then to maybe have that opportunity? But we're speaking to like my mum and dad and Kyle and his dad, and we said we gave it everything. We tried to make a route into GP, but we don't really know why we didn't end up there.
The route wasn't there, was it? Because
no,
for whatever reason, people go on about the passport and the money. And back then, I mean, as much as it is now, how on earth do you find 350 euros for a mid-pack Moto3 machine where you're going to get swallowed up? And the British motorcycle public aren't daft.
No,
they understand how it all works. It's a close-knit sport. The fans are knowledgeable as well, you know. But most of the time, to the press and to the outside, and maybe to sponsors, you're only gauged on your last race.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
And then if you can't get into that arena, it makes it very difficult. But when you're watching your peers go on, as I said to Kyle, it's kind of peaks and troughs. You've got the pride in knowing that you can race against those guys and beat them. But then there's the negative of thinking, well, that could have been me. The old Rocky thing, I could have been a contender.
Yeah.
But the path that it took you, one thing that sticks in my mind after that, of 2015, Alton Park, I think it was 2015, might have been the second round, you rocked up on the Motor Breakers bike for a one-off ride and stuck it on the podium. Yeah. You just came out of nowhere. That's something that's stuck in my mind, because I know Jordan was struggling to make the transition from Moto3 to Stock 6, as a lot of riders do. Asher Durham's doing the same thing. It's a massive, massive change. As you know, you've been there. But then you just rocked up on one of Sean Rose's bikes and went, I'll take that. Thanks very much.
I know. I wasn't expecting that at all. I mean, I just thought I'd join them. I'd get some experience on a 600. And see what the transition is like to do that. But I qualified fairly well. Got a really good start, and I think Mason was one who won the race.
Mason was flying. Mason was virtually untouchable that year.
And he was there within probably half a second, and I thought, I'm staying with him. And I thought, I just gripped my teeth and thought, I'm learning as I'm riding. Obviously, Mason was on that bike that year, and I think he'd done Stock 6 a year before as well. So he had the experience and the knowledge on it. So I just thought, right, if I can tag on, do what he's doing, and just take that away. And it was just an incredible weekend. Yeah,
it was impressive to what you've done. Some impressive rides over the years. Obviously, for those that follow the Motostar Championship, you rode them. Was it the Silver Mahindra, wasn't it?
Yes.
We needed to ride that within an inch of its life. And some of the battles you had with Joe Irvin and Jordan and the guys in Motostar, you just keep making these little cameos in the early years. It's just like, still here, guys. I can still ride.
That bike was a weapon. I mean, everyone at that time thought, oh, there's no way you can compete on a 125 against these Moto3 bikes, and it just proved that you could still do it. I mean, they were maybe a step above the 125s, but that EE bike, the Roberto who ran it just was incredible on the job. Made the bike fast and sing and last the race. So it was good, but it was sort of like the old 125 days where it was running on the absolute limit and you did two fingers over the clutch.
Over the clutch.
But it was good. It was good.
So, with a part of that, you mentioned Fab Racing. So obviously Roger Keys and Steve Keys that looked after Fab Racing and the guys there, they've been a massive part of your career. Charlie Nesbitt went through Fab Racing. Scott Redding went through Fab Racing, yourself, Fraser Rogers. There's a little production line of quality riders coming out of that stable.
I mean, Roger, Rob and Val have helped me since I was sort of 9 years old. They picked me up and put me onto the Metrokit 50 back when I first started, and they've helped me ever since. Throughout the years, they've helped me with sponsorship. They've given me the opportunity to ride that, like that 125. Roger organised that through Mahindra and literally supported me in every way to get me where I am today, basically, because I don't think I would be here without them three guys and without the Fab Racing Championship. Obviously they've been in it a lot of years and they can see talent. Obviously they picked up Scott, they picked up Fraser, Danny Kent, Danny Webb. All of them went through Roger's Championship. And I think if things were different, I think every single one of us would be in Moto3 or in Moto2 or in World Championship at some point. But yeah, there seems to be some sort of something missing from the transition. I don't know what it is that's missing, but I think Britain and the UK has got massive talent, but it's just trying to showcase that in the world. It's really difficult.
It is, and I think you may be looking at how things are going now with the British Talent Cup. I know Rory Skinner had his opportunities, and the guys coming through. I think Franco Bourne this year, Max Cook, guys like that. You're kind of 6 years too late, aren't you? If those opportunities were, I know it's ifs, buts, and pots and pans, but like you say, yourself and Kyle and the guys of your age group, it wasn't about lack of talent. It was funding.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, it was just you sort of went out into, if you went out to CV, you'd go there on a bike that you knew wasn't competitive, but you almost had to go out there to just try and get an opportunity. But you'd get messages and emails off teams that say, "Oh, we really want you to ride, but you're going to have to bring 250,000." And you think, how are you for 8 rounds of a Spanish Championship? How are you going to do that? It's impossible. We done it one year. I think it was on a standard Honda. It cost a fortune to ride a standard Honda. And we was battling against KTMs and all the Monlau team and the Calvo, and it's impossible to be able to do it. And it's
demoralising.
It is difficult, yeah, because you sort of know what's there. And I mean, even when you do get the opportunity, I mean, Rory had a good opportunity with Mark Keane, in the Spanish Championship. Max Cook's obviously in the Honda Talent Cup. Tom Bufamos was in it, but it seems that you go into that, and then they just spit you straight back out again. They don't give you that next step into World Championship. But it's a bit of a strange thing.
It is a strange situation, but you came back with a bang, really, when you joined the Supersport. As you say, you were the most successful rider in that Supersport Championship, which then catapulted you into British Superbikes. We'll come on to BSB shortly. I know we've got 20 minutes. We're doing all right for time.
We're doing all right.
Yeah, we're doing good. Talk to me about Suzuka. 2018, 2019, a young lad flying out to Japan to one of, if not the biggest single race in the world. It fascinates me. The whole event just looks incredible. Tell me about it. What was it like for you?
Unbelievable. The first year, actually, in 2018, I think I ended up flying out to Japan 4 or 5 times. I think 4 times. 3 times for 3 tests before the race weekend, and then obviously flew out for the race. But yeah, the atmosphere, the Japanese people, it was just all like a massive eye opener for me. The people are incredible. The teams are spot on. The track's just, Suzuka is probably one of my favourite tracks in the world that I've ridden on. It's just an incredible circuit. But yeah, the atmosphere there, you've almost got to be there to witness it. I mean, we've got videos and photos of what it was like, but it's sort of nothing that you can sort of describe how good it is. But normally when you get like a 24-hour race or like an 8-hour race, there's normally sort of floodlights around the track or something, but you've literally got the headlight on the front of your bike for the last hour and a half of the race, and it's pitch black, completely pitch black, and you've got one headlight, so you've almost got to learn the track the best you can for when it starts to get dark. But yeah, just the whole atmosphere and the feeling of being there was just incredible. But
you had a lot of experience with you with Sudasan and Gintoli. So for your first season in the factory Suzuki team, that shows in what regard you are held by each manufacturer that you ride for. So
yeah,
as we said about the talent versus the money, the talent is there. Same with Kyle Ride and the young guns that are coming through. So when you got that first, what was the story regarding getting to Suzuka? When did you get that first call, and did you believe it?
Well, we're speaking to obviously Steve Hickin and Stuart from the Bill-based team, and they sort of said about the Suzuka 8 Hour and said that obviously the Suzuki do it and the Japanese are really keen for it. And I said, "Well, I'd love to do that." I said, "It looks like an amazing place." And I spoke to a few other people like Linfoot. He said he'd been out there and he said it's like an incredible experience. I said to Steve, and I said, I'd love to go out there. And I think what sort of done it was obviously the first round doing the double win, and then the next round get the podium and being sort of leading the championship. I think the Japanese thought, right, let's get him out here. So they got me out there for like a 2-day test just to sort of see what I was about. Because for them it's a massive thing it's a 1 year, it's one time a year, and they've got to make sure they get the right team, the right riders to do the job. So they sort of brought me out for a test, and I think on the second day of the test, I think I was 0.3 slower than Sudasan, who's been around there a million times. So yeah, that sort of teed it off. Yeah, and then and then we went out there for the race. I mean, you all do separate stints. You all do your qualifying and your practice laps and things, and then Sunday morning came, and then they come into the garage and sat us all down and said, right, we've got a plan for the race. They said, Sylvain and Brad, you're going to be doing the full race. Sudasan, you're going to be a step-in rider. And I thought, Jesus. I said, it's like me and Sylvain back to back for the 8 hours. And then the Japanese bloke, bless him, he was just like a sitting rider if anything went wrong. So I thought, right, okay, they obviously think that we can get the job done. So it's game on. But yeah, and then unfortunately Sylvain, I think, was running second in the race up till an hour and a half in, and Sylvain unfortunately crashed and then brought the bike in to the garage. They repaired it, put new fairings on, and it was my stint. I went up down pit lane and the handlebars were completely wrong. The front wheel was pointing straight and the handlebars were pointing all the way to the left. So I had to do a full lap, come back in the pits, and then had to undo all the yokes, tighten them up, and send me back out again. But yeah, I think we managed to finish 8th that year, which was still really good. But
that's still pretty impressive with that.
The pace that we run all weekend and all the race runs we done, and the sort of pace we had in the start of the race, there's opportunities to get on the podium. So, but yeah, no, it's just an amazing experience, and you're tired afterwards.
And the heat and the humidity as well, don't have to. Something that we never experience, and like you say, unless you're actually out there.
Yes, it's just you can't sort of. There's nothing in the UK or anywhere that it's the humidity that just kills you, because there's no sun. Very rarely any sun. It's just like walking into an oven, and then you got to chuck your levers on, and then but you wouldn't change it for anything.
Would you say that was the highlight of your career so far?
I'd say that probably, and getting the test on the GP bike,
which I was coming to.
Yeah, that's probably one of my standout moments in my career.
Talk to me about Sepang on a Suzuki MotoGP bike then. Talk us through that.
It's just mind blown. I mean, Yoshimura were there as well, so I managed to get out on the superbike for half an hour the day before, just to sort of see where the track went, learn the track a little bit. And then I was out on the 3rd day of their test at lunchtime, and they were saying, it looks like there might be forecast for a bit of rain today. And I thought, oh no, I've come all the way out here and it's going to piss it down. I'm not going to get a chance to ride. So I was flapping. But yeah, managed to get on it. And they said, right, get your levers on. It's sort of like your time. You got an hour on the bike. Go out and do sort of whatever you want. So I was thinking, oh Christ, here we go. Yeah, but no, just first thing out into the back straight, just full throttle. And I thought, oh my God, this thing is absolutely stupid. It just kept pulling and pulling and pulling, and the seamless gearbox was just the whole bike was just like, it was just a race bike. It was just the pure built race bike.
So the part of the track, I suppose, that you find the most out of the bike, the acceleration out of the final turn, and then the braking into turn one at Sepang.
Oh yeah.
So just between those two corners in the straight, just describe your feelings going. None of us will ever get the chance to ride a MotoGP bike. So coming out of the final hairpin to down to the first turn.
Oh, the final hairpin, you sort of, I think, second gear on that, and you just come out and open it up, and it's almost like you can feel yourself pulling back. So then you shift another gear, but then you shift another gear, and it pulls you even further back, and then you shift it, and it just keeps pulling and pulling because. Normally, when you rev a bike, it's like, wow, you get like a drop in revs. But this thing just kept revving and revving. And then into turn one, you just hit the brakes because I had the carbon brakes on. And it took a while to get used to, but they just stop. You hit the brakes, you think, there's no way I'm stopping here. And then all of a sudden, you've stopped and you think, oh, Jesus. But the acceleration up and then the speed down was just like a different experience, but yeah, it's something that was very, very special. I was just smiling the whole day.
What an opportunity! I love that. I love that. Just one. I've got three final questions because I know we're pushed a little bit. What one decision would you change over your career if you could go back?
Oh, it's a difficult one. That is.
For whatever reason.
I don't know, really. I think there's one that sort of, it wasn't a certain option, but I think it was the year after Super Stock 600, or maybe even the year after Super Sport. I think there was a possibility, it wasn't 100%, but a possibility to maybe join Stock 1000 team in World Superbikes.
Okay.
Back then, obviously, they were running Stock 1000. And I think, if I remember, I don't know if it was a Ducati team. It might have been a Aruba or the satellite Ducati
Barney,
team.
or whoever was there.
Barney, and yeah, I think I had an option to go there. I think I would have had to take some money.
Yeah.
That's why it sort of maybe put me off a little bit. But yeah, there's possibly an option to go there. So it's almost like hindsight now. Should I have maybe gone there, done Stock 1000 for a year or maybe two, and then I could be in World Championship already. But yeah, everything happens for a reason. And
absolutely.
And at the time, you sort of try to make the right decision for your career, and you try to make the one that you feel is best for you. And I think it's worked out. I mean, I'm still here at that. Amazing opportunities through Suzuki and now with BMW. So, I mean, you've just got to take the right path and make sure you feel it's right for you, and just do the best job you can.
It's an interesting question, but it's not necessarily a negative one or anything like that. It's just like a hindsight thing. I'm just intrigued as to where people are sort of thinking with it, and that's an interesting one. I like that. Two more questions.
No worries.
What's your favourite corner?
Favorite corner. There's so many corners on tracks in the world.
One that you always think of when you go into is like, this is having it. This is my favorite. Whether the bike gets loose, whether it's on the entry, on exit.
I've got a favorite set of corners.
Okay.
Which would have to be Austin in Texas. Up to turn one, down
2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, all the way through there was just like a proper set of corners, left, right. It was just.
Are you fairly well pinned through there as well on the little KTM?
Yeah, you sort of like you pinned, and then you shut off quick, and then you back to pin, and then you shut off and pin. Yeah, it's just when you get it right, you can just like take a little bit of inside curb each time, and just get it really, really nice.
Nice, I like that. That's a new one. Then with the main one at the minute seems to be Phillip Island for those that have raced there.
Yeah, I've never raced there. I've always sort of anyone who's sort of raced there has just said it's like an incredible circuit. So I'd love to.
Maybe one day. You've plenty of time left yet.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah.
And the last one, everybody's got one, and if you tell me you haven't got one, you're lying. What's your best hire car story?
Hire car. I don't I don't know.
Oh, come on. Don't be, no. You've got one. You know you have.
I'd have to think about it. Cool. I don't actually know. I think there's a couple of times where we've been sort of drifting. I think at Aragon it was, and there's like a dirt track on the way to the track, and there's just, you could just destroy the handbrake and destroy the tyres on a hire car there. But yeah, that's probably my sort of standout one was round there. But to be fair, I haven't hired a car properly myself yet. So maybe.
So you've just been an accomplice.
Yeah, in the future I might get a chance to tell you another story.
I'll look forward to that. Maybe you'd see what happens over the next couple of years. We're going to be in touch fairly regular anyway through the coming season, so we're going to be all right on that front.
Yeah.
I know you've got to get off, mate. You've got things to do. Thank you for joining us. Very best of luck with 2021. Welcome to the team, and I can't wait to see how you and Kyle get on for next year.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. Yeah, I'm excited to join the team, and yeah, we'll get some testing underway and enjoy it.
Oh yeah, you're going out to play soon, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, super excited.
That'll be the first taste. Good luck on that. Stay safe.
Thank you very much.
Have a good Christmas, and we'll speak in the new year.
And you. Speak to you soon.
Thanks, Brad. Take care, mate.
Bye-bye.